From up here, Deming, New Mexico could be just about any small border town in America. When it was founded over 100 years ago, there were big hopes the railroads would turn it into a new Chicago. That didn't pan out. Instead, this town of 14,000 people, clustered 30 miles north of the Mexican border, has a poverty level twice the national average and sky-high unemployment.
The Lincoln County Sheriff says 8 stranded immigrants were found along a New Mexico highway. Deputies found the undocumented immigrants under a tree along Highway 380 near the Valley of Fires. That's west of Carrizoso. According to Sheriff Michael Wood, the immigrants said they crossed into the U.S. from Mexico and hitched a ride.
A lot of those migrants that we saw in El Paso have also been traveling through Las Cruces to get to their final destination. For privacy purposes, we aren't showing their exact location. The Border Servant Corps helps shelter and feed migrants. The executive director tells me that more than 50% of the people they've helped has been in the past 4 months.
Mexico's government says it will start deporting migrants who are now waiting in its northern cities to enter the U.S. The move is meant to reduce the strain on U.S. border crossings as a rising number of migrants arrive from the south. The mayor of El Paso, Texas, says his city is reaching its breaking point.
Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is headed to the Rio Grande Valley in Texas today. Thousands of migrants crossed into the U.S. near Eagle Pass in the past few days, and the city's mayor says they feel abandoned and are pleading for help.
Well, now Texas Governor Republican Greg Abbott says that he is sending additional buses to Eagle Pass in El Paso to assist border communities.
Their lives packed on top of a moving freight train known as the Beast. Migrants seeking a new beginning over the Mexican border. These mostly from Venezuela, men, women and children, families clambering aboard where they can outside the Mexican town of Arapuato.
The move comes as the number of migrants apprehended at the border is increasing after dropping earlier this year. 2 Homeland Security officials telling NBC News more than 7,500 migrants were taken into custody along the border this Sunday alone.
Mothers, fathers, and small children with no money, no food, and no idea where they were. The people of Deming quickly rallied. Father Manuel Ibarra was woken up by a knock on the door, by a family in tears, asking if they could spend the night. That first night, 22 people stayed. Soon, there were 85.
In the past year, we've served more than 40,000 people from more than 50 countries around the world. So people will go where there are networks and support systems, and so it can change depending on migration patterns.
Over in El Paso, the city is using schools like Moorhead Middle School and Bassett Middle School as other additional shelter locations.
Hi, Chanel. The number of migrants crossing the U.S.-Mexico border without legal permission is nearing record levels. There are about 7,000 migrants crossing the border each day on average. That is a level that we have not seen since December and May of last year, when over 220,000 migrants were apprehended each month during those time periods.
Large numbers continue to overwhelm officials as they pour into Texas border towns. El Paso's described as at breaking point. More than 8,000 turned up in the city of Eagle Pass this week. The U.S. Homeland Security Secretary visited the president of Honduras in Texas.
It has taken a toll on our local resources, specifically our police force and our fire department. They have had to answer many calls because of this influx of people coming in.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection saying tonight they are encouraged by the Federal Mex train shutdown, emphasizing that the border is not open as they brace for another potential increase of migrants.